model car fans, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and this week I'm going to feature my completed build here. This is for the U.S.A.C.C group build, United Scale Auto Content Creators, and I'm a member of that, and I just kind of look on that and see what other people are doing and other channels, and some of the discussions there, but just mainly just being informed. And but I got sucked into this particular one as I don't really do community builds or group builds. I don't really know why anymore. I think mainly because of having a timeline or a deadline. I've done enough of those and don't really worry about that too much. But speaking of the deadline here, the deadline is, of course, March 16th, Sunday. I normally would launch a video like this on Saturday, but because of their deadline and not to show anything until Sunday, that's why you're seeing this net now. Although I have had this finished for months, I did start it, and being that it was a dart kit, and I love this kit, and I built a bunch of them. You've seen them on the channel. So this one, the more I had read about the car and the more I understood what this was, got me more excited about it. And it was all about the same time too. My friend Sonny, he had this book and I was kind of thumbing through it and I liked what I saw, so I bought myself my own copy. And I was going through and reading it, mainly about just some of his cars, what was going on. Initially, it was the 68 Charger was really the one because I have that kit and I hadn't built it. But when I got to this one, it was a little bit misunderstood by me. I'm like, why did they make this kit with the 440 and not the Hemi Dart? Didn't really know the car or understand the car. So it was a little bit of confusion for me. It just seemed like it was kind of a goofy one. But it had the Dick figure, the Dick Landy figure here. And I actually have one that doesn't have the broken cigar. I've had a couple of these. My other one is a parts kit. So it's kind of funny. And I had acquired another one of these after I had found out that a 68 440 Dart was a M code, custom built, and Mr. Norm had really pushed for them. He wanted them built. He had talked to Chrysler. They made 50 of them, and all the VINs are jotted down, and so that made them legal for racing. But all these came out before the Hemi Darts did. And Dick Landy got one, but he didn't get one of those from what I'm understanding about this car. It's not, the history in the book is pretty interesting. Dick Landy says he loved this 440 car. It was so reliable, hardly ever broke. And he loved it and he was winning with it. And then he saw the Hemi cars in development. He ended up with two of the 68 Hemi Darts. So he had this 440 Dart, and then he had the two Hemi Darts, one an automatic and one a stick. So he raced this one a few times, and then here it talks about he went up in the Winter Nationals with it very early on, and ended up against Gas Ronda and his 68 Mustang Super Cobra Jet, another one that was a very rare special with only 50 of those made, but that was the 428 Mustang, and he beat him. I love that Mustang, but he beat him in this Dart. So Dick Landy was, and he had a fleet of vehicles, so many vehicles, so it's hard to keep track of these cars. Now, when it came to this particular one, it's now pretty much, from what I understand, lost to time. Nobody knows where this one is. Is two Hemi Darts, I guess, are known where they are, but this one, it was raced, and the VIN is not really known of his car, and whether or not it was actually a regular 383 Dart that they did the conversion themselves, or somebody else did the conversion. But the VIN number or the documentation of the 50 cars that Landy sold is known and listed for the racing organization, but Landy does not appear on that list. So if you got one of those cars, it wasn't written down that a specific VIN number was sold to him. His may have been custom built or a pre-production one or whatever the deal is. But that is unknown, and the car is lost. It was raced quite a bit by Bob Lembeck, and he raced it mostly after Dick got the Hemi cars. He raced the 4-speed Hemi, but he had a couple of drivers driving for him. But from what I understand on this car, it had made quite a bit of winnings and was just dominating, and he was just so happy with it. It raced into the 69 season. Instead of getting a brand new 69 car, they just updated the sheet metal a little bit, the 69 specs. They put the 69 grill and fenders on there, changed the striping a little bit, and just updated it a little bit so it was converted into a 69. What happened after that is kind of unknown. Vehicle pretty much vanished after that, or the history is lost and not found, as far as I could tell from the original car. But very striking car. So let me take this outside. We'll get it in the sunlight and everything, and look at it that way. And then I'll get more into the actual build of this one. So hang on. Well, here we are out in the Arizona sun, looking at this 68 Dick Landy 440 Dart GTS. And yeah, she's looking pretty good out here. Now I use Scale Finish's silver 68 paint for a 68 Dodge, kind of like a Charger or whatnot. That's what I bought, but I understand that Dick Landy actually used a Mercedes silver paint. Didn't have a code or anything, but you know, this is definitely much more sparkly. But yeah, I really like how it came out, especially, you know, when you compare it with that blue on the roof and everything. Really like how that came out. And double stacking a couple of the white stripes really makes that stand out as white. One of the problems with this kit and those chrome wheels and all the foil on this thing, man, this thing looks good. Really like how this came out, even though I always thought the stripes, how he had them on here, kind of looked kind of strange, but the colors were great. Like those Krager wheels with the knockoffs or spinners. Yeah, this is a nice build for a race car. All right, we'll take one more quick look. And there she is. All right, we'll head back inside. All right, I bet that looked really good. Even in here under the lights, the silver paint I used and everything, it just really sparkles and looks really good. Now, when it came to building this kit, I built it right out of the box. I really didn't do any modifications to it. And since the real car doesn't exist, I kind of just went with what the directions kind of said and the colors and everything. So I just kind of had some fun with it and just, you know, built it. That's one of the reasons why it happened so fast. The figure's really cool. It'll be displayed with the figure, but I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't want to knock it over and, you know, break that cigar. But, you know, one of the first things I was really concerned about were these decals, getting these decals on and having no issues with them. So I did a lot of setting solution to get them to lay down. I actually had to get these stripes actually white. I used two sets actually, you know, the set that came with it, and then the regular Hemi Dart that comes with the stripes as well. I laid one of those on top of these and lined them up as best as I can so that it looks like one decal, but it's actually two layers to really get that white, you know, because otherwise you can see the color and you can still see the stripes underneath it, but it's not near as bad. And of course the real automotive clear I use is laid right on top. Detailed the back here, that's all just hand painted, and all the bare metal foil. And then these large decals are down the side. Mostly didn't give me too many problems. I had some cracking go on back here, and you can, if you look closely, you can see where I touched up with the red brush paint and tried to get them to settle down, but the door jambs were a little bit of an issue, and then all the rest of the decals were not too bad. But those were a bit nerve-wracking. But I had two sets of decals because I had another kit that I used for something else. You know, the window decals look really good. And the interior is just stone stock with the automatic shifter and everything there. And it does have the automatic under it. It's got the short headers. I removed the mounting holes for the exhaust because it wasn't running the exhaust. All the custom bits here, that 8 3/4 rear end here, and those big slicks. Well, not really big, but the slicks on there with these fancy wheels here with the knockoffs. Dick really liked his cars clean with a lot of trim. But one thing he did do that I didn't do on this one, and I wasn't sure happened on, he liked to black out the entire chassis of the cars, everything. So if he did any modifications to the springs or suspension, you couldn't tell. So the whole undersides of his cars are usually blacked out. Painted the motor orange in this one. I wasn't sure what color his was. An actual 69 440 is orange, but a 68 440 would actually be blue. And that's from the factory. But you know, some of these racers did their own thing, like U.S.A.C.C and Martin team. They actually painted their engines Ford blue, so their Hemis are Ford blue. Um, so this one, I pretty much did it like it was from the factory stock. 69 orange. The Revell directions kind of tell you to paint it this color with the chrome valve covers and everything. One thing I did do, and it was brought to my attention, and I looked into it, and it's true. There was a vacuum brake booster on this. These cars didn't have vacuum brakes or power steering. So I just basically removed the whole master cylinder and just discarded the booster and glued it right to the firewall. So that's really the only modification to the kit that I had done. Everything else is built right out of the box. Engine just looks great. I used the tan distributor cap, which was a Mopar thing, but whether or not these racers actually use that. Left a hood latch there. You know, the Hemi racers didn't have it, but I wasn't sure if this one had it. There are no hood pins on it, so it's considered to be stock, super stock. So left all of that there. But this thing, building it wise, these windows can give you fits sometimes, but I got them in there. And the dome light's still up in there, sun visors are in there, rearview mirror, and got the tack on the steering column there. And pretty cool stuff. No roll bar or anything. Don't think the real car had a roll bar, but I'm not 100% sure. But this thing was just a blast to build. It went together really easy, and I really enjoyed it. And it was kind of fun looking into the history on it, but it was a little confusing because he had so many of them. Darts, he had basically 3 of them. And the histories are kind of intertwined and confusing on which one is which. But it was still kind of fun to glance into that and not get too serious into the actual history of the car. So I just really enjoyed building it and just had a good time with it. And, I love this kit too. This was probably the 4th, 5th one I built. I'm not really sure. Kind of lost track. But anyways, you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. I really do appreciate you guys. And hit that like and share and the bell button. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.